Okay, so next up, we're going to look at the entries for most impressive growth. Now, I was with my friend at the weekend who's a GP, and she saw this slide and thought it was something medical, but it isn't. What was more worrying is she was like really fascinated that it was something medical. But this is obviously about business growth and some very diverse entries in here, all from businesses that have, or most from businesses that have been very long established. And again, there are nuggets all over this, if I can articulate them properly, and you can think properly about them. The first finalist is a lovely guy called Costas KKolos, and he runs a cafe in Bristol. Okay, so that's just clearly nice. That must be absurd. How on earth could a cafe in Bristol be up for an award for most impressive growth? Well, I'll tell you why, and in Costas' own words here, many members have seen greater monetary growth, he said, but we have grown up in so many other ways. And this cafe has been running for 14 years now. And for 14 years, he did no marketing, as so many kind of bricks and mortar businesses do. The cafe is there, and their very presence is all that they have to bring in people and customers. And Costas, when we first joined the EC, the very first thing we did was we began to gather customer contact details. So they started to build a database of who their customers are. And in the first 7 weeks, this is a cafe, he's got good footfall, all of a sudden he had a database of over 300 people. But Costas at this point was still very much in the kind of mode of your standard typical business owner. And so he knew he had to do something, but as he said, again, his own words here, our communication was very primitive, it was very irregular, and it took me a lot of time. He said, I'll be honest with you, I did not look forward to doing it. It was a chore. I had this database, I knew there was something in there, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And to some extent at this point, Costas was very suffering acutely, I think, from Bananarama syndrome. Again, for those of you new in the room, this is a condition that we kind of conceived and gave it this name. Bananarama syndrome, named after the famous band, of course, and their 1983 hit that says, it ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. That's what gets results. And although Costas had his database and was communicating with them, so at one level he was doing the right things, but the way he was doing it in those early days was absolutely not right, and his results reflected that. They didn't make a significant difference to the business of the cafe. Until he got a CRM system. And with the help from some of the team, he started to craft some structured kind of emails, and there was kind of proper campaigns were pulled together. And he said when we started it properly, the response rates were amazing, because he's a cafe, so he can get tracking his responses quite straightforward, because he can have different events and themes and offers, so very, very easy for Costas, once he thinks about it properly, to start tracking the responses that he's getting from his people. And I love this one. He says our meze nights are now regularly sell out within 20 minutes of us sending the email. Now, there's not one of us in business who wouldn't like to be able to send an email and 20 minutes later to sell out. And that's now happening, not once, that's not a one-off. Now he's recognizing if he pitches it in the right way, because he's got a loyal following, people that love him, he puts the right events on, then he can just put an email out, and he fills his that evening up within a matter of just a few minutes. He says, we've now got a well-engaged audience of over 1,200 customers. Which is a fairly cool thing, in any business to have the key there being the well-engaged. There's a relationship that Costas is nurturing, not just through his email and through his communication there, but also through, obviously, the experience when they come into the cafe. He implemented a simple coffee loyalty card. Buy 9 coffees, get the 10th one free. Very, very straightforward, but again, it's worked for his business. Gives him a reason to talk to people. People are coming back. Now, a little nugget I will share now for Costas, who's in the room, because in Solihull, sorry? I know. So I said he's in the room. Yeah, I said this is just for you. You've got your own personal nugget coming your way now, because there's a cafe in Solihull called Joe and the Juice, which is part of the John Lewis thing. They're a chain all over the country, but their loyalty cards work a little bit differently to yours, and I think you should at least think about trying this, because with their loyalty cards, you effectively buy 10 coffees for the price of 9, and but you pay then for the card. Does that make sense? So you pay for the card, which costs the cost of 9 coffees, and then when you bring the card in, they cross one off. But it means there's a cash flow benefit to you. And they're doing it with sandwiches as well and wraps. I know this because my wife's spending a fortune on a Joe and the Juice loyalty card, and I just thought I'd share it with you, Costas. That's all. So that's why that was in there. But again, it's different ways of thinking. The loyalty card bit is great, but there are also ways to take it to another level altogether. This is radical. I love this, that Costas has developed a phone app. So an app on the phone for a cafe. Who would have thought? Well, he would, and he's got a couple of thousand downloads now. Now, getting downloads of your app is kind of the easy bit. The trick for anyone that's got an app isn't the number of downloads, it's to actually get people to use it. Does the app actually get any usage on a weekly basis? Well, his does. Because he's got those relationships that he's nurtured and walked it through. He's introduced a birthday club. Guess what happens? On your birthday, you get an offer from the cafe. He's introduced a wall of fame. His best customers' photos and caricatures are up on the wall. He runs competitions on Facebook now, one of which generated over 80 testimonials in just a few days for him. And he's running lots of great offers. And this is, again, an interesting way. He's experimented and tested and trialed here. So he found that offering £5 off when you spend £15 or more, now that's quite a big, on the face of it, quite a generous offer. But what's happened there, that's helped drive his average spend up by 22% after the discount. Does that make sense? So that's a significant growth in his gross margins, and he's found that out by testing and trialing and working through different offers and pieces, something that many of us don't do. We don't give enough thought to the offers that we can create and how we can package and present them to our customers. So he may at one level only be a cafe owner on Bristol, but he's an incredibly progressive, forward-thinking one who's made a really big impact, and he's a very, very worthy finalist for the most impressive growth award. So big up and much respect to Costas.